Texas. They say everything's bigger here, and they're right. We've got big cars, big hearts, and even bigger stakes. This is beef country, Texas.
Home to the Alamo, and a state park so big that we named it just that. Big Bend. Call it that because it's really big and it bends. Duh.
It's got a Texas-sized podcast as well. And this is it, right here, Fort Hood's great big podcast. Yeehaw.
Hello and welcome to Fort Hood's Great Big Podcast. I am one of your co-hosts, Samantha Farlow, Public Affairs Office.
I am another one of your co-hosts, Specialist Brianna with the 1st Cavalry Division Band.
And hello, I suppose. I'm another co-host, at least for now, until I get fired. Well. I'm Sergeant Lamont Shavers. I'm the Public Affairs NCOIC for the 69th Air Defense Artillery Brigade.
And this is your first podcast episode. Everybody welcome.
Yes, welcome.
Yay, welcome him. Yay.
Thank you so much. This is the best moment of my entire life.
Really?
Wow.
It is.
Wow. That sounds horrible.
Well, I must say, it's not been the best life.
If this is your peak, I don't know.
Come on now. We love our podcast here. It's amazing. We have so much fun. We're very, very glad to welcome Lamont here on our show. You will be one of the new regulars. Woohoo! So why don't you tell us about yourself?
I dread these. So, I'm Lamont. As I said, I was born and raised in Warren, Ohio. If you don't know where that is, that's cool, because most people don't know where it's at.
No idea.
But it's close to Youngstown, Ohio. And if you know somebody named LeBron James.
Never heard of him. Just kidding.
I know, right? So that's where LeBron's from. But I went to college there as well, and I was in the band all the way from 5th grade through senior year. I played trumpet, then I switched to baritone because I wanted to do something new. Mm-hmm. I ran track. I wasn't very fast, but they were giving out free clothes, so
oh my gosh.
That's a good reason to show up.
I played football, which is my favorite sport in the entire world. You can't tell me that there's a superior sport, because I will argue with you all day. And I have nothing but time.
That's good to know.
I know, right? College, started off as a music major, then I switched, because who doesn't switch? If you don't switch, then you're not cool. Switched to film study. Then I settled on history, specifically European history. I really love World War I, World War II, just anything related to those I love, which gets into my hobbies. Super big history nerd. I can talk anybody's ear off all day, all night, and the in-between hours if you would like as well. I like watching movies, and because I've done film study, I'm like, oh, wow, why are they doing that shot instead of this one? So it gets really annoying, but, that's just who I am. But other than that, I really think that my passion in life is educating people and making people happy as well. I really enjoy teaching people about new things, history, of course, but it can be about anything. I can teach you about, hey, this is why this is this way. This is why your clothes are this way, because it goes back to this and blah, blah, blah. I really like educating people, and ultimately, if I can put a smile on someone's face every day, then I have done my job as a human being.
He's also a voice actor for those people who don't know that.
Many impersonations.
Lots of voices over here. Very exciting. Well, seems like that this is the right place for you, since you love to talk and love educating people. Is kind of the purpose of our podcast here.
Well,
that's great.
I sure hope so, because if not, this will be my first and my last episode.
Well, I'll try not to hold it against you that you switched from a music major. But you do get points for not playing the trumpet anymore. Oh. Because that's the worst instrument.
I didn't realize that was... Can you tell me why that is the worst instrument?
Well, it's just like there's running jokes amongst musicians.
Oh.
And because trumpet players tend to play the melody a lot. They kind of have the ego, because they play recognizable stuff.
Gotcha.
And they're not like the support. They don't play like the same lower notes like in the baritone or tuba. So there's for trumpet players, they tend to be there's like a band thing where like, oh, you don't like trumpet players because they think they're so cool.
Oh, there's a big stigma.
Oh,
there is.
I had no idea.
If you've ever been in band for just a little bit, you know what I'm talking about.
I was never in band. I hung out with a bunch of band kids, but never did it. So I'm learning some new things here.
I can tell you offline all the things.
Can't wait.
Well, that's so great. We're so happy to have you here.
Thank you. I'm very happy to be here. This is pretty dope, if I do say so myself.
Where did all the voice stuff come from? Like all your different impersonations?
So we were talking offline before, prior to recording, but I actually have a speech impediment. I stutter. Now, sometimes you might not notice it. You might think I'm talking too fast, but in reality, I have a speech impediment. Like there's a certain word that I'm going to say right now, vanilla. If I say that in regular conversation, I'm telling you, it sounds like I'm drunk. I can't say it at all. It's crazy. Wow. But I figured, okay, if I do accents, I don't stutter. If I do weird voices, I don't stutter. It's only in my natural voice that I'll stutter. So I figured,
that is interesting.
If I do these weird voices and I'm entertaining people in class or what have you, they're going to think I'm being funny when I'm really just trying to speak normally. Because if I speak normally, I'm going to stutter and they're going to, as the kids say, roast me. Then, but if I do an accent and I do not stutter, they're going to think that I am absolutely amazing and not a bumbling, fumbling fool.
Wow. Well, I don't think there's anything wrong with having speech impediments, though.
Yeah, I think it really makes you unique.
I can see why you want to try to cover it up. It sounds like you've adapted really, really well.
I have, and through lots of speech therapy.
Yeah, and you don't hold back at all. Now you're here.
It's almost gone.
Wow.
You're on a podcast showing everybody it's possible if you don't want to have a speech impediment.
Yeah, that's
anymore.
really inspirational.
Yeah.
I don't know about inspirational, but
I think
it's beautiful.
I think it's inspirational. I think anyone that overcomes, something that they have difficulties with is just amazing.
Absolutely. And again, it goes back to what my field, public affairs, is all about. Everybody has a story. You don't know what somebody's carrying as far as weight, challenges, all that stuff. You can just talk to somebody and you'll learn something that you would have never thought that you would have learned. It's super cool.
Yeah, that's awesome. Speaking of learning things that we didn't know anything about before, we have a very wonderful woman coming from Child and Youth Services today to speak with us about what kids can do this summer. Lots of summer fun, especially since, we're kind of getting over the hump of COVID and people are able to go out and do things. So it should be really interesting to learn what kids can do here.
All right.
If you've got problems and feel like you just can't get answers, there's a place for you to turn. The Inspector General's Hotline. They take your issues seriously. If you're at the end of your rope and need someone to reach out to, grab a pen and take down this number. 254-287-7209. That's 254-287-7209. The Fort Hood office of the Inspector General. They inspect generals so you don't have to.
Save money and get special military discounted tickets to your favorite attractions like Six Flags, Schlitterbahn, SeaWorld, Disney World, and more. Stop by our Leisure Travel Services office located right here on post to get those tickets. For more information, go to our website at hood.armymwr.com. Have fun!
It's me, Super Mario. Woohoo! Hello to all my friends at the Fort Hood's Great Big Podcast, your number one.
That's such a great voice. Well, today we're going to be talking about CYS, Child Youth Services, and what kids can be doing this summer. What opportunities kids have for summer fun.
Nice.
That's kind of fun. So with that, we have in the studio today, Kristine Caparco. I knew I was going to mess it up. I'm so sorry.
That's all right. It's okay.
Caparco. She is the Outreach Services Director at Child and Youth Services. Thanks so much for being on.
Thanks for having me. It's great to be here.
Yay. So let's get right into it. So for those people out there who are listening, who are not aware, can you walk us through what Child and Youth Services is and what they do and what services they provide here at Fort Hood?
Sure, that's great. Our motto and our mission at Child and Youth Services is to provide military families with the child care services that they need so that the military families can meet the military mission. And we do that a couple different ways. We do that through full-day child care, before and after school care, care during times that school's out, such as camps, clinics, things like that. And then, of course, we want to keep the youth engaged and having fun. So it's going to be through youth sports and fitness programs, instructional programs, things like that.
That's great.
Nice. So this is a busier time of the year for you then, because it's summer fun time for the kids.
Summer is definitely when everyone's ready to relax and have fun, but that's when CYS is in full gear.
Yeah.
Busy time.
Yes.
They're working overtime.
Yep. That's when our goal is to make sure that our kids are having fun and engaged for the whole summer. So.
Well, that's great.
Yeah,
that's wonderful.
That's beautiful. So with that then, what is available for kids to sign up for currently for, things that are happening throughout the entire summer maybe, or, one-off day of activities?
So right now we are in our second week of summer camp for our school age care kids. So that's our kinder through fifth graders, and our second week of summer camp for our middle school and high school youth and our youth centers as well. So we are full on summer camp mode. If families are interested in it, we do summer camp by the week.
Oh, okay.
So that's something that they can still get involved in. To get on the wait list for summer camp, all they have to do is go to militarychildcare.com, put in their information, their child's information, and then they can log into the system.
Wow.
It's that easy.
Yeah, that's really simple.
Yeah, militarychildcare.com.
Yep, and that's what we're offering weekly to ensure that any families that are needing care, that we know that they are on our wait list and we're looking at them weekly. Our goal is to get as many families in the program as we can.
So nice.
Yeah.
Now, what would you say is something that a lot of families that don't really know a lot about CYS, what would you think, or what would you say that is their biggest question or their largest concern?
Largest concern, I would think it would be the way to request care. MilitaryChildCare.com is a DoD-wide website that families, once they create their account, it's going to be good for them for duty station to duty station, and that's going to be how they request care at any duty station that they go to. We've had the website for about 3 or 4 years now, and unfortunately, it's still something that families come to Fort Hood and they're like, oh, I never knew that that's how you request care. So militarychildcare.com is your first step to request care with CYS at any installation. And then, of course, Parent Central Services is how you're going to complete registration once you're offered care and you need to start using services.
Oh, and what exactly would the cost be for people for related to childcare in general, or perhaps maybe the summer camps that are happening?
So I would say that that's the number 2 thing that everybody has questions about. For sure. That's usually our biggest spiel. Hey, this is how you request care. And then once you start needing services, just know that it's going to be based off of total family income. So what that means, it's going to be based off of both your sponsor and your spouse's working status. And it's how you get into care. That's going to put you at your priority, how fast you get into care. Okay. And then it's also going to be the piece that we use to total your family income. So we're going to calculate the sponsor's income information and the spouse's income information, and that's going to put you into your fee category. And we have 9 fee categories. You can look at our fee categories on our CYS website. That's on the MWR website. So you can kind of look and estimate which category you think you're going to be, or you can stop by and see us at Parent Central Services, and we'll be happy to get you calculated so that you know what your fees are.
Wow.
That's actually super helpful because just as you said, people really care about their money quite a bit.
Yes, they do.
I think that's awesome that they can kind of look it up beforehand and see, hey, okay, this is about how much we make as a household. So this is approximately going to be what we're going to pay so that they already know what's going to be coming out of their pocket.
Mm-hmm. And where can they go to find information, like on a website, or about what the upcoming things that are happening?
So all of our registration information and our fee information and contact information for our facilities is on the MWR website once they go to CYS portion of that site. But to see what our programs are doing individually, because we have 6 CDCs, we have 5 school age care sites and 4 youth centers that each day individually have their own programming and fun things that they're doing with the kids.
That's crazy.
So many
It
things.
is. It is. Yeah, but we're having fun with the kids. The kids are engaged. They're having a great time. So you can see everything that they're doing on CYS Facebook page. So if you go to Fort Hood CYS Facebook, that's what you're going to see, every individual programming, all the fun stuff that they're doing, the kids engaged and having a great time. And it's a great spot for you to get program updates. If there's a fee policy change, if there's a facility closure due to inclement weather, which unfortunately Texas, we're not new to that nowadays.
No, especially.
Exactly. Yeah. So that's the best spot. And so we definitely encourage our families, or if you're interested in CYS, to follow us on Facebook so you can be up to date with everything that we're doing. It'll also give you information as to what's coming up next. So right now we are in full swing for summer, but you know what that means? That means that back to school is right around the corner. So we're already prepping for that. It is almost mid-June already. So by the end of this month, you'll be seeing information about how you can request school care for back to school.
That's great. Because I'm nosy, what kind of activities are those kids doing during summer camp? Because I did a summer camp one year when I was living at Leavenworth with CYS, and it was just so much fun. We had such a blast doing all the different things. We went to a water park, and it was intense. It was so fun. What can we expect the kids to be doing?
So unfortunately, this summer it's going to look a little bit different because of COVID.
Yeah.
But we usually are. We're usually out there and we are field tripping it up. They usually are going to Lego World and all the different fun water parks and things like that. So look forward to that in the upcoming.
I was a kid.
I know.
I love Lego World.
But right now, because we are in the facilities because of COVID, they're doing things like cooking classes. They have full computer labs, so they're always on the computer learning different programming and games. We have full-size courts, basketball courts in all of our youth centers for the youth to be able to engage in physical activity. A few of our youth centers have weight rooms so that the youth can still be active and involved in that way. And then, of course, we have every gaming system that you can get.
You know what? That's what they like.
Exactly. We poll them so that we know.
Smart.
That is actually really smart.
If you ask any of our staff that are working with the youth, I think the biggest thing is that they're kids at heart. So they're actively engaged with the kids as they're participating in these programs. They're doing sewing activities. If they have a caregiver in one of our programs that is really good at sewing or knitting, they're teaching the youth that and doing that activity with them. And then, of course, cooking classes, things like that. We want to teach them those basic life skills as well.
That's great. And why would a parent come to CYS instead of going to, say, a different program in the local area?
That's a great question. Child and Youth Services, we pride ourselves on our accreditation. So all of our facilities are accredited, meaning that we go through extensive daily things to make sure that our facilities are up to par, that we are keeping our children safe. All of our staff are completely background checked fully. It's not just a state background check, it's a federal background check. And then all of our staff go through monthly, biannual, quarterly, yearly trainings to make sure that they are up to par for everything that the children need. All of our staff have medication training. So if your child requires a rescue medication while in care, don't worry, our staff are going to be trained on how to administer that EpiPen or that Diastat or something, a Buterol inhaler, things like that. So families can rest assured that knowing that their children are in capable hands, because our staff are thoroughly trained on not only medication, but how to provide correct curriculum according to the child's age. So all of our facilities and programs have specific training per age group that they're working with.
Wow, that's fantastic. And I really, truly believe that is one of the most, if not the top priority for a lot of parents, because oftentimes parents just want to take care of their kids at home, but in today's world, it's not possible for both parents or the parent to be at home and take care of their child all the time. So they have to rely on a resource like CYS. And then knowing that everybody is accredited, constantly trained and drilled on things that this parent is relying on you folks to do to keep their child safe and healthy, that really sets you apart from everybody else, for sure. That's awesome.
Oh, great. Thank you. I think we really pride ourselves on that. You know, we go through a Army Higher Headquarters inspection annually, and I'm really proud to say that the past few years we've been at 99% or higher. Oh, so we work hard on that. So yes, woo.
Claps to that.
Yes. And just know that all of our CYS programs are completely inclusive. So what that means that if your child has any accommodations needed while in care, we do a meeting with you one-on-one with some of our partner programs to make sure that we can meet all those accommodations.
That's wonderful. Wow. That's great.
Yeah, absolutely.
Wow. Thank you so much for all that you guys do for the Fort Hood community and especially for the kids. It's so important for children to be in programs and actively involved and engage in the community because it just develops them, gives them life skills and really helps set them up for the future.
Especially now that with COVID and everybody having to stay home for so long, being able to get out there and interact with people in a safe and healthy environment is great.
And just know, CYS has been operating through COVID. Even when we were closed in March when COVID first hit, we were still operating at Mission Essential. So our staff were still actively engaged, providing care for our children, and we've just been opening more and more since then. And I'm proud to say that I'm a military child myself, so I grew up in CYS programs. And I couldn't be happier to say that I work for them because I know all of the great stuff that we do. And it's neat to see programs that I grew up using, like esports.
Is cool. It's like
full
you were
circle.
Destined. Yeah, literally full circle.
Yeah. Well, I think it was more so I wanted to be part of it when I was able to.
Pass it on to others.
Yeah.
That is so cool.
It's always been a lot of fun, and it's great being on this side of it now.
That's great. Yeah. Well, can you give us some contact information one more time, what the websites were, how to enroll, just one more time?
So your main CYS phone number is going to be 254-287-8029, and that's going to get you to Parent Central Services. We're going to give you all the information on how to register, how to even get on our wait list, what's available right now, all that good stuff. And then also that's our phone tree for you to be able to access other programs. If you're already enrolled, you can contact your specific facility through that number as well. And then the number to get onto our wait list, or our website to get onto our wait list, is militarychildcare.com.
Perfect. And that phone number one more time?
254-287-8029.
Great. Well, thanks so much for being on the show. We appreciate it. I think everything you said was super valuable, and I think people are going to get a lot out of it.
100%. Great resource.
Thanks. Well, CYS looks forward to serving you and your family in the near future, hopefully.
Hey golfers, are you looking for a new course to play? The Courses of Clear Creek is a 27-hole course with challenging greens located in the scenic rolling hills of Fort Hood. With a 300-yard driving range, 2 putting greens, and a 4-hole kids course, we're the premier golf course in Central Texas. Our pro shop is always stocked with the latest golfing equipment and name brand apparel, while our beautiful pavilion overlooking the course is a great place to enjoy a cold beverage. The Courses of Clear Creek, open to the public, offering annual, monthly, and summer membership packages. Give us a call today at 254-287-4130 or find us on the web at hood.armymwr.com.
Flash floods in Central Texas happen within only a few hours of rain. Every year, more than 80% of flood fatalities involve vehicles, and about 10 people drown in their vehicles each year in Texas. Vehicles of every size can lose control, float, and roll over in flood conditions. Is taking the risk worth it? Is it worth the risk of leaving loved ones behind? Overconfidence kills. Don't drive through floodwater. It's not worth it.
Fort Hood's Great Big Podcast, now available at those fancy schmancy streaming sites.
We are back, and we have a phone call that we have to make. We have a special interview today. I'm gonna hit call. There you go. We're calling our second interview for the podcast today.
All right.
Ring, ring, ring. Hello?
Hi, is this Monty?
Yes, this is he.
Hi, Monty. This is Samantha, and we are on Fort Hood's Great Big Podcast right now. How are you doing today?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good. So thanks so much for being willing to be on the air with us today.
Thank you for
recording.
Absolutely. It's my pleasure. Thank you for having us.
Of course. So Monty, your title, I just want to make sure I have this correct.
It's the Intramural and Varsity Sports Coordinator.
Perfect.
For Fort Hood.
Oh, great. That is awesome. So we have you on the air today to talk about softball and all of the other intramural sports we got going on here at Fort Hood. So I know, just kicking it off right away with softball, we've had some issues with weather in the field. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, so our intramural softball started back in May 10th. And to date, that's been the only day we've been able to play because of all the rains that we've had in this area. And our fields do not drain the best. And so if it's sunny out, people would theoretically think we'd be able to play softball, but the fields are still hold the moisture so well that we haven't been able to work on them. So May 10th has still been the only date. We are looking to resume play next week. And then once again, we're going to have to take off for the 4th of July weekend and a week of celebrations. But then after that, we're going to play the month of July and conclude with the postseason tournament at the end of July.
Gotcha. That sounds exciting that, you're hopefully able to finally get back out there. Unfortunate that you've only been able to do it one day. I will say I was there for that one day and it was so much fun. We had a blast.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I appreciate you guys coming out.
Yeah, of course. We're happy to. So with the intramural softball championship, the postseason, can you tell us a little bit about what that looks like and what people have to look forward to whenever it finally does roll around?
Yes, absolutely. So the postseason tournament will have points toward the Commander's Cup for the end of the year. It's the first, second, and third place teams will get points towards that Commander's Cup that's awarded in December. And what the tournament is, it will be 16-team double elimination tournament. And each brigade on Fort Hood will get one team, the best team from that brigade, to represent the brigade in the tournament. And right now we have approximately 11 brigades that are playing softball. So there's still 5 slots available. So there's going to be 5 wildcard teams. So the 5 best teams after those top 11 brigade teams will get to play in the tournament. It's double elimination. It'll be a 4-day tournament. It's going to be wonderful time as long as the weather holds.
Absolutely. Well, we look forward to that whenever it does happen. I know we have other intramural sports that are coming up or are currently in the swing of things. I believe soccer and maybe kickball, if I'm correct.
You're on it, Samantha. Soccer is actually going to start up right after the 4th of July on July 7th, the Thursday. We're going to be playing on Thursdays out at Hood Stadium. We just received enough teams to play a season. We're still registering teams. If anybody wants to register a team, contact Brigade A&R rep, and they will get you into the league. But right now we have enough teams for the league, and it's going to be hot. We play 7-on-7, 70 yards long. The field's going to be 70 yards long as opposed to 110, whatever, what the FIFA dimensions are. It's going to be the same width, shorter distance, 24-minute halves. And once again, once those teams narrow down, there will be a post-championship tournament a couple months into the season, and those teams will also get points towards the Commander's Cup. And kickball, we're still registering for kickball teams. We only have one team right now, so please sign up for kickball. Kickball in the winter was the sport to play. I was acting Hood Stadium manager, and many units were calling us to reserve fields to play kickball. Mm-hmm. And now when we actually have the intramural season, there are no teams. So just please, it's great. You get participation points, 10 participation points per team per sport, up to 50 points for your brigade. So your brigade can have 50 teams, the 5 teams, you get 50 points, or one team, you get 10 points. The Commander's Cup is great. Everybody loves it. The Commanders will love you all if you just register your team and play.
It's great representation for the soldiers.
It is, and it gets them out of the barracks, out of their homes. Just get away from Army life for a while and just play sports. Let your mind roam freely.
Absolutely. And another cool thing about that is that you get to meet new people that you've not met before. Because, for example, I did a soccer thing. Mind you, disclaimer, I'm horrible at soccer. I'm probably the worst soccer player in all of human history. However, I had a lot of fun. I got some great cardio, and I'm never going to play soccer again. So the guy in my unit, he's an awesome soccer player. He did it in college, and he's like, yeah, man, a lot of my Nigerian friends in these other units are playing soccer as well. So I'm like, okay, cool. Like, I'm your friend. I'm going to meet them, and they're going to be my friends as well. So that part was fine. But, man, I thought I was playing in the World Cup, and I got injured, and I was injured for about a year.
Oh, my
goodness.
However,
soccer is a fun sport if you play it correctly, which I was not. It's a fantastic sport.
Yeah,
No, it is. It is. And while there's great camaraderie amongst the units in the Army, the camaraderie in sports is a bit different. And so it's a different level of camaraderie, and it just gets you out, and you'll meet so many more people, different people with the same likes. And so it's just so worth it.
Do you have any safety tips that you'd like to pass along now that we've heard that you can get injured for your, especially with the heat that is now here?
Yes.
Hydrate. That's the key. Just hydrate before you're thirsty. Hydrate before you go out and play that night. Hopefully you're not waiting to right before the game or during the game or match when you're playing. Hydrate prior. Yeah. Otherwise you're going to be in a world of hurt.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Eat good meals and rehydrate with electrolytes and things like that.
And actually know how to play soccer.
That might help. That might help. Okay, so I have just two final questions for you. The first is, what other sports do we have coming up later this year that people can, start to think about and start to get excited for?
Absolutely. So at the end of July/August, and all these sports that I'm going to be listing are tentative timelines. It all depends on the registration. But the next two coming up are cornhole. There's going to be a cornhole tournament, which could be super cool and super fun. And then the sport that was the most fun and funniest to watch at Operation Phantom Warrior Salute a couple years ago is coming back. It's going to be in either July or August. It's going to be inner tube water polo.
Whoa!
and that's amazing. That sport is awesome. And so hopefully we get a lot of registration for the cornhole tournament and the inner tube water polo season.
Wow.
Those are the two big ones. And then, of course, our fan favorites, flag football. We will have flag football in September, and volleyball in October, and then basketball in January, which will be going towards the next Commanders Cup. So this Commanders Cup, we're not including basketball, but we will have basketball in January.
Gotcha. That's awesome. I think we're all very excited here for the inner tube water polo. I would really like to be there for that. That sounds quite interesting.
It really does.
Wow.
And then our last question is, if anybody has any questions about this, is there somebody to reach, somebody to contact, if they have questions on how to sign up or, what sports are coming up?
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. So if anybody has any questions about any intramural sports, please go to your Brigade A&R representative, which stands for Athletics and Recreation Rep. And then if you can't find your Brigade Athletics and Recreation Rep, you can always call me, Monty Campbell, the Intramural Sports Coordinator, at 254-286-5760, and I will gladly answer any questions you have.
Perfect. And can you do that phone number just one more time?
Nope.
You got me there.
No, my phone number is 254-286-5760. 5760.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much for being on the air and telling us all about intramural sports. We really appreciate it.
Thank you very much for having me. Anytime.
All right. We are
have a good one.
Yeah, that is going to be it for this week's podcast.
Nice.
So, Monty, again, thanks for being on. Thanks to Kristine for being on this week. And make sure everybody's staying hydrated, staying safe, and wearing sunscreen since it's hot and sunny.
Yeah.
Drink water, everyone. Drink water, please.
And we'll talk to you guys next week.
All right.
Bye.
This podcast is a U.S. Army Garrison Fort Hood and Fort Hood Public Affairs production. Music is written and produced by Will Courtney with express permission for us to use. Do you have a question or want to share some insights with us? Email us at forthoodpao@gmail.com. Be sure to follow us on Instagram at USAG Fort Hood and on Facebook at Fort Hood Garrison Command. And as always, be sure to leave a review and subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts.
Driving down the road